Good evening, all of you. I am Yashuru from Team B. You are warmly welcome to the presentation. And this is Dana, and this is Netu, this is Induni, and this is Prasan. Okay, let's go to our topic. There are lots of vehicles, we can say as innovations. There are lots of in the world. Vehicles such as trains, cars, and mobile phones we are using, and CV machines, television, and more. But we don't know the start of these machines and who invented this. Okay, let's see this. Okay, answer to the questions that we talk about is this topic, the industrial revolution. Our topic is also the industrial revolution. Okay, what is this industrial revolution? I will introduce you about this. Okay, before talk about our topic, I am going to follow our content. First, introduction, and second, world before and after the industrial revolution. Third, advantages and disadvantages of industrial revolution, and last one, impacts of industrial revolution on today's society. Okay. Okay, what is this industrial revolution? I think now you don't have idea about this. I will introduce you about. Okay, this industrial revolution happened during 18th and 19th centuries. In brief, the process of change from an agricultural and handicraft economy to an economy dominated by industry and machine production is the industrial revolution. I think now you have a idea about our topic. Okay, now I will show a video to get more knowledge about industrial revolution.
The Industrial Revolution describes the change in economy, technology, and culture that began in mid-18th century Britain. These changes spanned over 200 years and included new uses for metals such as iron and steel, and new energy sources like oil, coal, and steam. Advancements in transportation and communication fueled a period of mass production and growth of new ports and cities. International trade and economic diplomacy was on the rise, while the common use of slavery, child labor, and unsafe working conditions sparked regulations and labor unions to be formed. The Industrial Revolution was a great advancement for humanity, but there is no way to measure the true cost of the world's resources and the long-term implications that their use will have on the environment and its inhabitants.
Okay, I think now you have a good idea about industrial revolution. Okay, we know what the industrial revolution is, but we don't know why did the industrial revolution start. There are lots of reasons for that. Mainly there are three reasons related to the industrial revolution. First one, emergency of capitalism. That means the people who lived in that era wanted to be rich, and they want to access the new society, and they made factories and introduced lots of products, and I think this is the main reason for that. Second one is European imperialism. There are more information about European imperialism. It is very hard to give a short introduction for the European imperialism, therefore I am not going to say in this time. Third one is agricultural revolution. Agricultural revolution contributed to the industrial revolution by creating low food cost. So families have more money, had more money to spend elsewhere. I think these are the main three reasons for led to the industrial revolution. Okay, now we know what the industrial revolution is. And why did the industrial revolution start? Okay, let's talk about how the industrial revolution affected the Sri Lanka. Okay, we all know that Sri Lanka was occupied by British. No, the Industrial Revolution also was started when Sri Lanka was occupied by the British. So we can think through the British, Industrial Revolution was affected to the Sri Lanka. Okay, let's see some effects. First one, starting of a mill to pound coffee by the governor Frederick North in 1804, and using machines for the activities of tea factories such as drying and grinding and exporting. And they use machines to prepare rubber for exporting. As well as last one is a special one to Sri Lanka, and British introduced the macadam method to build roads in 1885. I think there are lots of reasons, and these are some effects of the Industrial Revolution in Sri Lanka. Okay, now I think you have a good idea about what the Industrial Revolution is, and why did the Industrial Revolution start, and some effects of the Industrial Revolution on Sri Lanka. Okay, now I invite to Dhanat to continue our presentation. Thank you.
Okay, Ashiru. I think now you have a clear idea about what the Industrial Revolution is. Now I am going to talk with you about how was the world before the Industrial Revolution. Under my topic, first I am going to talk you about it. How was the agricultural economies before the Industrial Revolution? Before the Industrial Revolution, all the societies were organized around the agricultural activities because the technology is not developed before the Industrial Revolution, and majority of people lived in the rural areas, but because of they did not have an idea about urban cities. Their main livelihood was agriculture, and they used to engage in agricultural activities, and mostly they get help of the animals and their hand power, because like after the Industrial Revolution they had not machines like today's society. Next I am going to talk about cottage industries. Before the Industrial Revolution, in like today's people did not have machines to create new clothes and vehicles and like those. Before the Industrial Revolution, there are some machines, but it was not developed like today's society. And before the Industrial Revolution, some artisans, craftsmen work in their home by creating some textiles, potteries and foods by on their hands, and they couldn't have an ability to make easy their works because of the slowly machines. And when you talk about transportation and communication, the transportation was slowly in that era, because like today's they had not machines, they had not vehicles, they got their transportation from help of the animals and some carts. In that era, the long distance trade was very long distance trade challenge due to these transportation systems, because they have to get more time to do their transportation, because carts and animals have no highly power, and they go with their own power because the transportation was very slowly in that era. And when we talk about communication, like today we can communicate anyone with anytime at any place, but that era was not like that. They can't do their face-to-face interactions, messages and letters in quickly, but they have to get more time to pass letters and the other messaging systems. And when talk about urbanization in that era, the urbanization was not developed like this. In the today, the urbanization is very popular because every people have used to live in the urban cities, but that era was like not today's. In that urbanization, in that era, the urbanization was very limited, and they no need to come to the cities to do their own works because they have used to do their own needs in by themselves. And because I told that they engage with their agricultural activities because they can fulfill their needs in their own. And because of these reasons, the urbanization was very limited in that era. And when you talk about energy sources, there were no energy sources, there were no popular energy sources in that era. And most the people who lived in that past, they get their they done their energy sources by human power and the water power. There were no they use in that era, there were coal and some fuels, but they didn't have any knowledge about them. And because of that reasons, the energy sources were limited in that era. Like it was not like world after the Industrial Revolution. And lastly, I talk about technological limitations. You can get some idea about by looking this picture. And in this you can see a machine with a lady. She works in she engaged in the cottage industry. I told you that cottage industry, in that before the Industrial Revolution, the people work with their hand power, and the machines that they used was very slowly. Because of these reasons, they can't do their own needs by short time. They got a very long time to do their works. When we get this example, we have to give more power to create a new cloth. But today, with the technological developments, we can do this work by 1 or 2 minutes.
Good evening, all of you. I'm Pasan from Team B. I think you all have an idea about the world before the Industrial Revolution. Okay, now I'm going to explain you about the world after the Industrial Revolution. Okay, I think you all know the world before the Industrial Revolution. The people's life was very hard but after the industrial revolution, the people's life become very easy, because now they can do their works very easy, and okay. First one is agriculture and urbanization. After the industrial revolution, the agriculture was developed a lot. As example, the farmers could do their works easily. Like when farmers grow their crops, they can use many machines to grow crops, and they can get the harvest also from using machines. And next one, textile industry. After the industrial revolution, the textile industry got a special part, because the people needed more clothes. Therefore, they tried to make many machines to make their clothes, but they had limited threads to make clothes. Therefore, first time in 1364, the James Hargreaves made a Jenny machine to spin cotton, and you can see a picture of it. And after that machine, the Richard Arkwright made a machine which powered by water, but that machine was very difficult to work. Therefore, after that machine, they made a machine which named as mule. Okay, next one, iron and steel industry. It is a most special one, because after the industrial revolution, people need to make many machines from using iron. Therefore, but they did not have a machine to hot irons. Therefore, first time Henry Bessemer made a oven to produce steel and iron. You can see a picture of it. And next one is a coal industry. Coal industry is a most popular industry among in the world, and you can see a picture of a steam engine made by Thomas Newcomen. Because of it, they could make new artificial air and get into the coal mines. And after that machine, the James Watt made a steam engine good than first machine. And you can see a picture, the way coal was taken out of the mines by women and children. And next picture, you can see a safety land produced by Humphrey Davy. Okay, next one is transportation industry. I think you all know the transportation industry is a most special one, because we need vehicles and roads to do our works very easily. Therefore, first time the John Macadam made a method which named as Macadam method to make roads. From making roads, we can go very fastly by vehicles, and you can see a picture of John Macadam, and you can see a picture of making the roads. Okay, next one, you can see a picture of steam engine invented by George Stephenson, and you can see a motor car which invented by Daimler. It was the first motor car invented to the world, and this is a special one, because it is the communication sector. First time the Alexander Graham Bell made a telephone to communicate with others. Before the industrial revolution, the people communicate by using letters. It is very hard now. Therefore, the Alexander Graham Bell made a phone I think because of that telephone, we could make the mobile phone. Okay, and next picture, you can see John Logie first television invented by John Logie Baird. Okay.
I think now you have a clear idea about what the Industrial Revolution is. Now I am going to explain you advantages and disadvantages of the Industrial Revolution. As we all know, all the things have positive impacts and negative impacts. As example, Internet. Internet also have advantages and disadvantages. So, Industrial Revolution also have positive impacts and negative impacts. First of all, let's talk about advantages of the Industrial Revolution. First one is the production of more products. Actually, after the Industrial Revolution, it gave a birth to more cities and more factories. So, the producers produced more high-end machines to make easy their works. As a result of it, factories could produce more production with their new technology. So then they could produce their work with the new technology. As a result of it, there was a sudden rise with the production of more products. And other one is access to the international market became available. As I told you earlier, there were lots of production but local demand was not sufficient to fulfill the maximization of the production. So, the factories gave their attention to the international market. So then they could distribute their production both local demand and both local market and international market. Another one is invention and production of quite useful products. This is greatest advantages of the Industrial Revolution. Actually, the producers produce more quite and useful products after the Industrial Revolution. As an example, there was a sudden rise with transportation. Then there were lots of vehicles to transport very quickly, and it is only one example. There are more advantages because of the invention and production of quite useful products. And other one is purchasing power of the local people quite. Actually, the people who lived in that era were producing more products to need their day-to-day activities. So this one also one of advantages of the Industrial Revolution. And other one is competition was created in Industrial Revolution. Actually, after the Industrial Revolution, the producers produced high-end machines now. Then factories could produce more multiple production to the customers. So then there was a competition with the factories. And other one is decrease the impact of borders. Actually, this one also one of advantages of the Industrial Revolution. Then people could buy new goods from other countries too because of the this point. And next, let's talk about disadvantages of the Industrial Revolution. First one is the safety of working people was threatened. Actually, after the Industrial Revolution, workers had to use machines to produce their production, but people didn't have any technical knowledge. So this one is one of disadvantages, and also these are the machines are very dangerous, but factory owners did not care about their protection. So the safety of working people was threatened. And other one is unequal sharing of wealth. After the Industrial Revolution, workers could earn small amount of money, but factory owners could earn more money. Then factory owners became as wealthier and workers became as poor. So this one also one of disadvantages of the Industrial Revolution. And other one is the excess of pollution. The factories dispose their unnecessary things to the environment, and also they dispose their harmful air to environment. Then excess of pollution is one of disadvantages in that era. And other one is child labor. Actually at that era, men, ladies, children had to go to work in factories. Then children didn't have a chance to do their education. So this is also one of disadvantages of the Industrial Revolution.
So I would like to talk with you the impacts of Industrial Revolution. Okay. I would like to talk with you the impacts of Industrial Revolution as some points. You can see the first one is urbanization. Actually, the Industrial Revolution was a reason to migrate to the people from rural areas to urban areas, because of this scene it was improved cities. After the improved cities, there are a lot of people wealth, and because of improving cities, it began to build a lot of factories, and the beginning of factories also was a reason to urbanization. And in these cities there were a lot of facilities. Actually, before the Industrial Revolution, in a small in a area there was no cities, and there were small villages. But after the Industrial Revolution, there were a lot of cities. Second one is technological advancements. Actually, I think the technological advancement means most important part of Industrial Revolution, because we all know technology is very important for our life now. Therefore, technology, after the Industrial Revolution, there were a lot of technological innovations innovated to the people. After, as I told you, after the urbanization, there were a lot of factories now. After, the factory owners tried to work with technological innovations. Therefore, they could do their activities and product their productions easily. And let's move next page. And next one is economic changes. Actually, economy is also important one, and
before the industrial revolution there was no good in economy before the industrial revolution, but after the industrial revolution there were good economy, and with this economy we can say that we can with the economic changes the social class structure also linked, because before the industrial revolution there were two classes of society, and the lower and upper. Actually because of this because of the industrial revolution it was began to middle class. As example we can tell the for the middle class the people who were working with factories. And next one, cultural and artistic changes. I would like to talk with you this point with some example. I would like to get example as a photo. You all know nowadays if we want to get a photo we use mobile phones and cameras, but before the industrial revolution there was no technological innovations to capture a photo, but therefore they used to draw a picture, the natural watercolors. But after the industrial revolution they innovated few machines to capture photos. And last one is communication and transportation. Communication and transportation is also main part of industrial revolution, because the people's main thing also communication and transportation. Therefore as an example for communication, as our members of our team told you, we can get television and radio, and for example for transportation we can get train, because USA businesses tried to innovated the train to people. Therefore they tried to improve the transportation system. And as I think you could know a lot of informations about industrial revolution, but I would like to say one thing. According to Bill Gates' ideas, technology is just a tool in terms of getting the kids working together and motivating them. The teacher is the most important. That means the technology depends from worker, and if we work with technology, we can use technology as bad or good. If we use technology with bad side, we can get more of disadvantages. If we use technology to good side, we can get more of advantages. Therefore as a summary, I think the worker is the important. And finally I would like to thank all of you to pay your attention during our presentation. So I thank all of you. Thank you.